Yo, this is Dewan Gandy.
This is Rob.
And this is Sons of the Earth Podcast, episode 2. We want to give off the...
Go ahead, tell them what it is. No, go ahead, you got it.
Finding better habits.
Let that sink in.
Y'all ready for this?
I don't think you are.
All right, hit him with the quote, bro. Hit him with the quote first.
All right, so today's quote, unknown. Today's quote goes, "The power of positive thinking is the ability to generate a feeling of certainty," you're going to like this one, "in yourself when feeling that nothing in your environment supports you." And that,
one more time.
Yeah, I got you. So the power of positive thinking is the ability to generate a feeling of certainty in yourself when nothing in your environment supports you.
Yo, that's heavy.
That is heavy.
Because when you have nothing else around you to support you, or if you're used to gravitating to people's support, when you're left with none of that, and you just by yourself, that's where you really got to find that inner strength.
I picked that one especially for you and everything that you've gone through.
That's heavy. I dig that. I appreciate that. All right, so today's topic first is finding better habits. We all have good habits. We all have medium habits, and we all definitely have bad habits. But here we are during this podcast is to sway us in a better direction, how we can find better habits. So do you want to start with maybe some bad habits that we have that can be relatable to our peoples, or you just want to, how you want to go about it?
Oh yeah, so I'll start with some bad habits that I've been trying to break for a long time, and I'm actually developing like huge progress on it, is thinking positively when there's no positive events happening in my life. That was one thing that I struggled with, and me being an overthinker, always thinking the worst and everything like this. So self-love has definitely helped me conquer that bad habit. In addition to, always overthinking and always thinking negatively, my sleep schedule was off, staying up till 2:00 in the morning, and then, still waking up. I'm an early riser. So when I wake up at, 7, 8 o'clock after being up all night, I'm always groggy. I'm in a bad mood, maybe, you know what I mean? So a little thing might set me off in a way that maybe really doesn't mean to set me off, but because I'm lacking that sleep. And now how I've corrected that pattern is on the fitness app that I'm working with, my trainer with. And it allows me to record exactly when I went to sleep. So when I wake up, it gives me a little alarm. Like sometimes I'll wear my watch, but sometimes not. But it'll still calculate. I can put it in manually, or the watch will help me figure out when my REM sleep was. And I've been getting for the last 3 weeks a solid 8 hours. And I will tell you what, it has been monumental in correcting my mood.
I'm sure.
For sure.
That sleep is important. That sleep is truly essential. Without that, it's important. It's important. So I can definitely agree to that. One of the bigger ones that I would say, and this is a word that you guys have always heard me say, and it's very popular, but people pleasing. I think that's one of the biggest ones I think that I've discovered that I did so well. We can get into depth later on another time for other stories. But yeah, people pleasing is I think one that I really realized that was holding me back. It was self-sabotaging. It was the negative self-talk. It was doing whatever I can to serve others, but in a negative context, in a negative way, starving myself. Like I said last podcast, you got to make sure you replenish yourself because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So that was one of the biggest things I think, but definitely self-sabotage too. I think before even blessings would come into my life, I would paint scenarios of blessings not going well. Or before even blessings would come, I don't deserve it. Somehow psychologically, I'd be I don't deserve this. And then I'd be mad when it don't come. Well, because I'm putting that into the atmosphere. How you going to be blessed if you're not even preparing yourself for the blessing?
Absolutely, I completely agree.
You got to prepare your altar. You got to prepare the sanctuary. You got to prepare for what it is you ask for, even if it does not come. That's the hard part, is to have that characteristic of, I'm still going to be grateful. Even if it don't come, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be positive and manifesting and praying and whatever the case is, even if it doesn't get here. So that's very hard to get through that barrier, to break past that. So that was a heavy one for me.
Because even if what you are trying to manifest or hoping and praying for doesn't come, there's somebody still out there wishing that they were in your present position.
Facts.
So that is also another thing that has been a struggle for me. A bad habit is not being grateful for what I have and expecting more than what I deserve at that point in my life.
Facts. It's heavy. It's deep. It's deep.
So that's definitely something to speak on. Now going off that, talking about, let's touch on like just talking about how you feel in certain situations and certain things going on in your life. I want our audience to know that if you have a certain feeling about something, you should be able to speak on it and not to worry about the outcome of how people that you're addressing what you're speaking on takes it, because it's been bottling up inside of you. And I want people to know out there that we're trying to reach, that it's okay to have those feelings and speak on it. What do you think about that?
I think it's important. Yeah, I think especially coming from the premise of men, why we do this podcast, men's mental health, because we grew up. We were probably one of most likely those young boys and young men now at one point, and know a lot of young men at that point where it was very hard to express. Self-expression is very, very vital, and it is very important, and it is much needed. You'd be surprised how much you can change your culture, change your world, change your community, change your environment within your home, within your space, just by self-expressing in a positive way. You can self-express in a negative way too, but in a positive way. I think it's truly essential, and I think more men need to do that more, and creating a space where men can come to a place and self-express, to be vulnerable, like we said. Like, you're going to hear us say that word a lot too, being vulnerable, to be men, to be masculine men, to be straight men. It don't matter however you come, right? Come as you are, but to be able to be vulnerable and transparent with one another and be like, bro, I'm really like not in a good space right now. You should be able to do that. You should be able to say that to your partner. You should be able to say that to your homie, Lil bro, I'm going through something really mental right now, and I don't know what this is. Can you help me? And if not everything should be like, oh, yo, bro, yo, bro. It should be like,
exactly. I was literally about to say that, because if your circle is so quick to shut down those feelings, then that's when it's time to start backing up and reevaluating your circle as a whole. Because if your circle doesn't build you up, then why are you in that circle?
And they may not understand too. Remember, birds of a feather flock together. So if you start coming to this awakening and you're realizing these people do not serve me on a level where I need right now, they don't feed me where I need to be fed, and you start pulling back, they gonna look at you like, bro, our moms know each other. You've been sleeping over my house since we were 8. Like, what you mean you pulling back for? What's going on? Like, da da da. So that's going to be very difficult, because you're going to have to be able to explain that to them, and oftentimes they may not even get it. So whether you feel the need to explain to them or not, you just got to be prepared for that, because it's going to be really weird. People look at you like you got 8 heads. Like, what you mean you pulling back? What you mean you're not coming around anymore? What did I do? You acting brand new? You acting funny now?
And I feel like the ones that truly do care about you will respect,
even if they don't understand.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts. So let's go over some during our own transformation, right? We both have gone through a heavy transformation period, right? We went into a deep, dark night of the soul. We had some really dark, transformative moments in our lives and during our spiritual awakenings. So there's a lot of realizations that we've had about ourselves, and collectively we talked about them, and we about to put them out there right now for the first time. So go over some that some good habits that you realize that were not good for you, and how you found better habits to alter that. Because we all have a vice, but at some point you don't want to feel subjected to that vice or to that, to that thing.
The first thing that I want to touch on is definitely the drugs and alcohol, honestly. I mean, we live in going to school, where I went to school, like WVU and everything like that, and it was like a giant party. Mm-hmm. So it was harder to stay away from those things.
For those that don't know what WVU is,
West Virginia University. Yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah. That shit was lit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I heard it get there.
But definitely I felt the party lifestyle was dwindling at a very young age for me. Like my parents always let me have a glass of wine or a beer here and there. Obviously I wouldn't get blackout drunk at the dinner table with my parents, but I think they did such a great job prepping me for when I turned 21 that after I turned 21, I think I drank more when I wasn't 21 than I did 21 and over, because I got that sense of freedom. And then when I saw since I was in that environment, we would get done all night drinking, and then we would wake up early and still start drinking. So it was wild, you know what I mean? But it definitely was taxing, and it took a toll. So when I became a captain and I stopped the whole weed thing, it was like super monumental to me. My dreams came back. My freaking like brain fog went away. I started like remembering more, and like, you know, each thing was like I was getting better sleep. I wasn't feeling groggy. Like, besides the fact of some of the benefits, like it did help me able to like relax, but on the other hand, sometimes it made my mental space even worse. Like that paranoia is real when they say like some people have different effects on it. And I feel like the partying, my diet along with the partying, because you know how they say like once you're drinking and everything, you crave junk food. And because your body is not used to taking on alcohol in any dose, really, your body like shuts down, because it's like, what is this toxin that you're putting in my body? And then all that food that you just ate, that greasy food, gets stored as fat. So that's one thing: drinking, smoking, diet. Those are the three things that I've kind of turned for the better. And now I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I go to the gym regularly. You know what I mean? I work on the whole version, the best version of myself.
Sure.
And that comes with, you know, everything I said in the last episode: journaling, like words of affirmation, like hanging around the right people. Look at us doing a podcast, like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're not moving in the next step up, then we're staying stagnant. And I was not put on this earth to stay stagnant.
Birds of a feather flock together. If you with 10 idiots, you bound to be the 11th one.
Yeah, like that saying, hang around smokers, you become a smoker. Hang around drug addicts, you become that next drug addict, and so on and so forth.
100%.
So
no, I agree with that. I think, you know, growing up, I grew up more on the religious aspect, and they were much more extremists. So we didn't even, although my family in their own way was very, like, we had drug addicts in our family. You know, we had people who got down, they got crazy, like, it is what it is. In my immediate family, it was very extreme, like no drinking, you better get your behind before the sun comes. It was very extreme. So for me, growing up, a lot of church kids, and I heard this my whole life, you PK kids are the worst ones, y'all the biggest ones, y'all the biggest freaks, and we are, only because the restriction was stronger. If we go to school with, quote unquote, like my dad liked to call, heathen kids, we go to school with heathen kids who are doing all these things. And we want to, because we're children as well. We're growing up seeing y'all having fun. We want to do the same thing. But yet when we get in the house, we got to live a completely different life. That's pressure that a lot of y'all never experienced. Y'all was able to be who you were in front of your parents and out in the world. We had to literally fake it till we got our freedom. So that's why most Christian kids or, you know, religious kids or just PK kids bug out at some point. That's why they OD, like they take it. It ain't just smoking weed. They take it far left. It ain't just having sex. They take it far left because the restriction was stronger. So yes, we can be the worst ones, but we just trying to. At the same time, we trying to live like everybody else. I always say this: my parents took on that calling to become preachers. I didn't, and I didn't want them to either. I would have liked to have been a regular kid and lived a regular life. So they took up that calling. I just unfortunately had to live through that, you know what I'm saying? So go easy on us. They always trying to like kick our back. I'm like, you PK the worst ones, man. You go through hear my story. You gonna see why we bug out for real. We'll go deeper into that though.
So what are some habits that you learned like past living like that you kind of had to like really hone in on? Because obviously once you got free,
I bugged out a little.
Yeah, of course.
We don't bug out. Yeah, we bugged out.
But what habits kind of put you back on the path of like living your best life?
Yeah, I think at some point, when you get that level of restriction off you and you get that freedom and you start going crazy, at some point, a wise person will realize, okay, I'm self-sabotaging myself. I think I'm headed down a path to destruction, self-destruction, right? Whether it's drinking, partying, multiple partners, everything. At some point, you're gonna realize this is taking away from me. It's not giving to me. So one of the things for me, I really had to turn around was eating. Like I didn't realize that I was an emotional eater due to the depression I was living under constantly. Just the mindset that I lived under, I craved. I looked to food for comfort. And for those that know me, I went from being extremely skinny, like a hungry Ethiopian to the next year putting on mad weight. And I always struggled. I went up and down. I would lose weight a little bit, then I would gain it, and I would lose and gain it. So men struggle with their weight too. It's not talked about as much. Most women don't even talk about how they struggle with their weight, but I'm gonna let you know most men do struggle with the weight, and it is very it sucks. It's painful. Like nobody, you waking up with love handles and stretch marks. Like that's not. We try to play it off like it's cool. Like, oh man, this whatever. I just like. It sucks, but at some point I realized I needed to buckle down on eating right and eating to live. Like actually eating what gives me fuel to live longer, not just for comfort. So put down the tasty cakes and the ho-hos and the soda and the chips. Okay, that's comfort, but what's gonna have me live longer so I can actually see my grandkids walk across that stage without dialysis and
your knees buckling, yeah,
legs cut off because I got, you know what I'm saying, like because I got diabetes and all that, you know what I'm saying, like what? So eating better, sleeping better, just all around meditation, realizing that I was just living in darkness. I just was living in a very dark lifestyle. But bullet point wise, let's like jump into the bullet points. I guess we can. One of the main things I started doing to start it was fasting. That was one of the main things. I stopped anything that gave me pleasure. So again, not trying to be funny, semen retention. Anything unhealthy that was like super sweets, that was really high in sugar. Because again, I craved sugar. That gave me a high. Definitely laid off weed at some point when I was really into heavy and smoking weed. Getting a better bedtime, centering myself, putting my phone down, waking up earlier, gratitude, right? Gratitude, making sure I'm spending time for me with the Creator. Those were one of the first steps I think that led me into this realm where I'm at now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you still fast?
I do occasionally. So I'll go for a period at a time or season at a time. So there'll be a season where I'll do it, then I'll give myself a 2, 3, 4 months break, and then I'll do it again. Sometimes the seasons are more extreme, so I'll go maybe a day or a few hours in a day. To one time I went, the longest I went, my spiritual weight, like the epitome of my spiritual weight, I went 3 days. And people be gassed like, yo, you're the lion. There's no, bro, I went 3 days. I drank water.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you at least drink water?
I literally had no desire to eat. After that second day, I had zero desire to eat. I did not want to eat anything. I just wanted change so bad in my physical life that I was willing to starve whatever it took from all pleasure, even if it came from sugary foods or whatever food that gave me pleasure or comfort. I was willing to cut that out.
Now, how was the dreams?
Oh my God, I had natural lucid dreams.
Yeah, literally, I'm sure.
Natural lucid dreams. Even when I meditate, my mind was just vivid. The dreams were very vivid. The messages, the downloads, right? Whether you want to call them revelations or downloads, they were very clear and very sharp and very distinct. And you knew they were meant for you. There was no fuzzy haze, like what could that mean? No. The message was there in the dreams or in the visions. Yeah,
speaking of meant for you, let's touch on practicing mindfulness.
Let's do it.
Now, when I say practicing mindfulness, what do you think that I mean? What does mindfulness mean to you?
Mindfulness to me, from someone who has ADHD where the mind's always moving, is to literally center yourself, be calm. So it doesn't have to mean meditation. I think a lot of people insinuate those two things together, right? Mindfulness means meditation. Not always. Mindfulness is literally just sitting and looking. You could be on your balcony if you're around trees, and you literally just sit there. You just pay attention to the greenery as they blow through the winds, and you're paying homage to the creation that was given to us.
You might see a squirrel trying to get a nut or something.
Yeah, you might see a lot of things. You put your phone down and stop looking down and actually pay attention. You'd be surprised. You see a lot of beautiful things around you. I'm not trying to sound like Snow White. You know, I'm not trying to sound like one of those Snow White stuff, but for real, life is beautiful if you really just pick your head up and look.
Yeah,
so that's
I agree.
What it means to me. What about you?
Yeah, like I couldn't agree more. I mean, just the other day, I was on the boat, and I told you I saw that bald eagle. I never really seen a bald eagle in like our area before. So when I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I had to be at the dock by 5, and we left by like 5:36. And as soon as we were like heading out, I saw this big bald eagle like stretch his wings and like fly right across from us, and it was like, wow, bro, it was magical.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah,
and it sounds so corny because like it's just an eagle.
I know it's literally just a bird, just the eagle, but
just seeing something so beautiful and just the way they glide. It again, we are all connected, but again, it takes you to step out of that physical carnal realm into the spiritual, where again you realize we're all connected. We are all connected with the eagle. We're connected with the ocean that that you were on the boat. We're all one. So yeah, it's almost like that moment you just paid homage to that. Yeah.
Also, I want to talk about mindfulness, not only observing your environment around you, also observing your environment within you by speaking on the fact that when you get all these thoughts in your head time and time again swirling around in your head, but like I said somewhere in the last podcast, practicing mindfulness now when we talk about picking up better habits, this one is, in my opinion, at the top of the list, because taking something and observing that habit or that mindset or that thought or something that's coming into your mind that you're not really sure of and you're not really sure why you're thinking it. I challenge everybody to the next time that they find themselves thinking about something negative or something that's not in that head, I challenge you to challenge that with something positive about yourself. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm not, where I should be, I want you to counteract that with, I am where I should be right now. I am beautiful. I am good looking. I've been hitting the gym, progress. So I challenge everybody to just be mindful of what those thoughts creeping in your head come to be, and challenge those challenging thoughts and filling that void with something a little more positive about yourself. Completely. Try that.
Okay. And it's harder than you think.
Yeah, it really is.
That's like you said, challenge yourself, because it sounds very easy. Oh, just think of something, think of happy thoughts. It's really hard to say that when you're really in the midst of negative self-talk. And
not just thinking happy thoughts, saying them aloud to yourself.
Facts.
Because that kind of like checks your brain.
Facts.
And okay, I was thinking this, but bam, let me snap myself out of it. Mm-hmm. Go take a look at yourself in the mirror. Say it to yourself in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely, that's something that's helped me in the last 2 weeks when I've observed myself having some type of negative thought about my life. I'm like, we got this. Yeah. This is our time. Yeah, this is our path. These are the obstacles that we have in our way that's challenging us, and we're going to overcome them. But, might be a little sad from time to time, but sadness is part of it. Failure is part of life. So just continue to push on and keep chugging up that hill, and we'll eventually reach that top,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's fire. All right, so the next one I have is, since you said challenge yourself, is to literally do just that, challenge yourself. Again, speaking of the premise of us being men, I think if you are a man and you do not set challenges for yourself, get on daily challenges for yourself, you are doing yourself a major disservice. Just saying. If you're not setting challenges for yourself, goals, boundaries that you want to break through or want to get past, if you're not doing any of that, you're doing yourself a major disservice. If you know you ain't comfortable with your weight, if you know you're not happy taking your shirt off, if you know your girl walk by and she flicked your boob and grabbed your left hand. For real. If you don't like that, go do something about it.
Okay.
Stop playing the video games. Put the controller down. Go outside and go do something with yourself. Go do something active. Go do something that's going to challenge you, because that's where you will find that inner strength. That's where you will find success every day, when you set daily challenges. And it doesn't have to be making it to the top of the mountain that day. It literally could be something like, I want to go to bed at 10 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock. That's it.
Or instead of not going to the gym at all, going to the gym for maybe like 20, 30 minutes.
Or just take a walk.
I just think
as men, if you're going to call yourself a man, you have to know what it's like to go through challenges. Because again, especially if you're going to be like one of us, chosen ones and black sheep, again, I've said this before, life ain't going to be easy. Life ain't going to be easy on you. Life is going to be hard, and it's going to continuously kick your ass. So the best thing you can do is get used to adversity, to get used to challenges. So therefore, when another one comes, you can be like, bet. I already just got done one, we finna do another one. And because guess what? You're gonna have that your whole life. So you might as well prepare yourself. Get used to challenges, get used to being uncomfortable, get used to discomfort, and just let's do this. You got people by your side.
Yeah, and I can relate to the whole video game thing, because stepping outside of the environment that I created for myself in Florida, coming back here to basically restart my whole life aspect, I definitely submerged myself in a little video games. I mean, we've all been there. Like,
we all got outlets. There's a difference between outlet, but then when you use that outlet as a vice.
And I was gonna say we talked about the vice earlier on. Like, that was definitely my vice, like my happy place. Like we mentioned, people drinking, smoking, and all that. Mine was definitely video games, and it took something monumental to happen to really like make me look inward again. And coming from in Florida where I didn't take any technology, now technology was hindering and impeding what I wanted to do with my life. So I kind of put it on the pause. I'll turn it on and watch like some Twitch and everything. I really like Twitch. I like watching.
Well, might start streaming, so it is working for a positive.
Yeah, I like.
As long as it works for your benefit, you're doing something. You're talking about that dude who plays video games continuously, not striving for any goals, not using it as a benefit. At least if it don't bring you no money, if it don't bring you nothing, then you're
the dude with the Twinkies and the Mountain Dew. Yeah. For sure.
You about to start streaming. Like, you got other avenues that's going to open up doors from playing video games. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between using it as a vice and escapism versus an outlet. We're men. Life is hard. We definitely need an outlet. So I'm not saying get rid of your outlet. Understand the difference between an outlet and a vice. You know what I'm saying? You need a healthy outlet. That's what we're doing.
Just putting that out there. Me and the squad are masters on Apex, so
Go hit
that's my vice.
That's all you do. You the gamer. But go ahead, which one you got?
Let's talk about engaging in hobbies. What are some hobbies that you find to create that joy in your life?
So I'll say the hobbies that I've developed are mostly, or I should say half and half. Some are like physical, and the other ones are other, meaning it could be mental, emotional. A hobby that I like to do that are like mental, emotional, or at least mental, is like crossword puzzles and word searches. I do them right before bed. I think that along with downtime, with screen time, I turn my phone off. I use that time to like literally disconnect from the outside world. And before I go to bed, after I do my meditation and stuff, I'll just do some word finds. I keep my eyes sharp. Looking like that too for before bed makes you really tired, so you naturally just want to go to sleep. And it just keeps your brain sharp. It just keeps you alert. So that's something I like to do. Obviously, on a physical aspect, we love to go to the gym. We love our hikes, our social gatherings. We love to just meet new people, see people do stuff.
We like the vibe.
Yeah, we just like to live. But I make sure, just as much as I do physical hobbies, I make sure I also have some type of mental and emotional stimulating hobby, something like that. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Lots of reading. Love to read and take on information and stuff like that.
100%. I have been, the last month, I am almost finished this one book that I've been reading for like almost a year now, because I keep reading a couple pages, stopping, reading a couple pages, stopping. I'm very thorough when it comes to book reading. Like, I have my notebook and I'll jot down like notes and stuff like that.
Highlight was fire.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of the, ancient Chinese practice of Qigong. I'm sure, like, I've sent you some videos with the certified health nut, like doing them with the breathing like that. Yeah. So it goes over all those like techniques and stuff like that. And I literally found this book in a thrift shop for $1.
That's where you find treasure, though.
So it was like, I have to grip this up, because it teaches you like ways of moving your body and everything like that, and just like flowing. I'm only like about halfway through, and the teachings don't start until I believe like chapter 12, and I'm on like chapter 9. So I'm like almost there, where the diagrams and like the practices really start coming in. But I've almost filled up an entire notebook on just like the talk of qi and balancing yourself, and the foods, how the vibrations of the foods, like we just talked about, connect to you and they build your body up. And it's backed up with scientific evidence. Like, they gave small study group of like, I say small, it's like 10,000 people, and they gave 5,000 no Qigong practice, and then the 5,000 that did practice the Qigong had an average like circulation level like twice as normal as the people that weren't doing Qigong. So it's very interesting to me, in seeing like how they talk about how the body can heal itself and everything like that, and the practices are so extensive that I'm not blowing through it. I'm taking the time and enjoying it.
Yeah. Truly ponder on that and take your time with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that too, when you said move your body, that's exactly it too. Stretching. That's one of the ones that I have. Stretching and moving your body. For those that are not physically fit, right? You're not feeling the most confident going to the gym. You're not feeling the most confident, obviously taking your shirt off or whatever. Start by stretching. Like, before you start working the muscle, you got to practice, start slowly. So like basic stretches. One of the things that I started doing, I really started taking the gym serious, is right before bed and early in the morning, stretching. I would put on my headphones, whether it was meditation or just noise canceling, just to block out the world. And I would focus on stretching every part of my body. And sidebar too, another thing too, the gratitude. In the midst of me stretching, at some point when I'm like lotioning my body to get ready for work or get ready for the day, I would use that moment to pay homage to the creator for my body. So I'd be like, Lord, thank you for my heart. Thank you for my lungs. Thank you for my limbs that work. I'm blessed to have 10 fingers, 10 toes. Everything works. I'm in my right mind. Using that moment, because again, we take everything for granted.
For sure.
We take basic things for granted all the time. So yeah, using that thing, but stretching, truly essential. Truly, even if you work out, even if you don't, stretch your body. The body has to stay in motion. The worst thing you could do is when you retire. There's so many people in my life, once they retire, it's like a curse, but it's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny, but it's true. You look at those people who retire shortly after, they either come down with something or they no longer with us. Because you stop moving your body. You went from moving your body like a dog to not moving your body. The body has to stay in motion until the end.
Yeah, that's something my grandfather always preached on. And he was like 80-something. I don't remember his exact age, but he got up and went to the office every day until, Thursday. He would go down the shore and help my grandmother like around the house and stuff like that. So he was always moving. Mm-hmm. So it's just a proven fact. That was the one thing that he always said. He's like, I don't want to retire because I don't want to be like everyone else and pass because I'm not moving. Mm-hmm. And that was like a real like
go move your body.
little tidbit for me.
Go do something, man. We'll find something to do. Yeah. What else you got?
Social connections. It's very important, like we said, to build a circle that supports you. And it might not be from your friends. It might not be from your family. It could be from complete strangers that you just find like the same ideologies as. And like you go to a festival or you go to like a networking event or something like that. Definitely stay out of the bars and definitely don't. Low vibrational people hang out in bars, and that's just like a fact. Like we said, if you're gonna stoop down to their lower vibration, you're gonna become a lower vibration by hanging around and absorbing all that negative energy. So nothing really good ever comes from a bar. Now I'm not saying like you have to be completely like sober and
right.
You know what I mean? Like you can obviously
know your environment.
Yeah.
Know your environment. You don't normally go to the bar. Why are you going there 24/7?
Just look at everyone's expression in the bar. That's all I gotta say. Next time you go into a bar and you're drinking, just look at the expressions on people's faces. It says a lot about that.
And I ask myself this often too, and it helps keep me alert and alarmed. Because we all, in a negative way, if we're not trying to strive for better, we all have escapism, right? So I always ask, when I look at somebody, like, what are they escaping from?
Right.
I see somebody at a bar 24/7. I need another one. Here's bartender shooting up another one. I'm like, what are they running from?
Yep.
What are you afraid of? What are you afraid to face in your life?
Absolutely.
Clearly running from something. What are you escaping from?
Absolutely.
So I pay attention to that too, as well. Yeah.
But just building, this episode is basically building on our better habits and just maintaining that peace in yourself. And drugs and alcohol are going to definitely hinder that experience for you. Now, like I said, like previously, that doesn't mean you have to be 100% sober and never do anything ever again in your life.
Thanks.
But just be mindful about, when you do and whose energy you absorb.
Yeah, everything's in moderation.
100%.
Everything's in moderation, yeah. For me, I have, this is just me. This is going to be for the melanin folks. Sun time. We are truly divine beings that are charged by the sun, bro. And I'm being funny when I say melanin folk. Obviously, you can too, but you definitely need some FPF on that skin, because boy, you want to
Never. I don't use sunscreen.
Right. We don't do that. But it is truly essential to connect with the source that God has given us, that the Most High has given us, and that's the sun. And I truly believe we are charged inwardly as well as outwardly. When you ever see somebody who has a beautiful tan, it could be 5 minutes. They have just a healthy glow. They have such a healthy glow about them. Their skin looks golden. And I truly believe that works the best. And the worst thing,
And normally it doesn't matter like what that person does or whatever. You see the biggest smile on people with golden brown, slick back blonde hair. You know what I mean? Pearly white teeth. They're just enjoying life, and they don't care. They're soaking up the sun.
Yes,
great.
Yes, and black people go out and enjoy the sun too. Like I always have like, oh, I don't tan. That's tanning. Man, go outside. Go outside. What you inside?
It doesn't always have to be tanning. It just be.
Like, I just grew up hearing that. I don't want to. If I went outside, well, you acting like your white side. Because I want to go hang out in the sun. Yeah, I hear it all the time. You acting like your white side. Because I want to go kick it in the sun and get some sun. Like what you talking about? Our ancestors been doing that. We built for the sun. So we go outside, go charge some melanin, and go enjoy yourself. You'll be a lot happier. And you probably will be fighting all that depression. So talk about it.
Anything you feel like we didn't speak on that you want to speak on?
healthier habit. You did mention the sleep, did you? Mm-hmm. You mentioned sleep. Yeah, sleep is definitely important. I've definitely been doing that. For those that I carry a jug, bro. This joint is like my right hand right here. Like
I mean, you already see me take a drink in my jug.
Bro. Yeah, tons of water. Tons. Gotta flush the body out. The body is
0.89 gallons. I'm almost at a gallon right there.
A high percentage of water and just fluids in general. Like we're made up of so much fluid. You have to cleanse yourself out of that inwardly and outwardly. Your skin gets better. Your teeth, like everything. It just drink more water. Drink more water, and understand what you're drinking too. Don't be drinking all that chemical filled water and all that stuff too. That's going crazy. Oh, like I said before bed too. Less screen time. I think that is truly
put the phone down.
So many people have dopamine addictions when it comes to that phone. I've seen people the moment they put their phone down, like, oh my God, what am I doing? Bro, put the phone down.
Or what's also, speaking of that you think that your phone is vibrating when it's not.
Yeah, that's crazy. That your mind is so connected to that.
To the phone, yeah.
That's wild.
That you're like, oh my God, where's my phone?
So what I do is before, when it hits about, usually I have it set on my phone as a timer. When it hits about like 6:37, my phone naturally will turn to warm mode. So that's better for the eyes because the blue ray from our phones, our brains can't detect if it's daylight or nighttime. So if it's 9 p.m. and you're looking at a blue screen phone, that's why you can't go to sleep.
Or Netflix.
Yeah, even that. Actually, ask my girl. She hates it because whenever it gets nighttime, I turn even on our.
Oh, you're one of those.
What? Yes, I am. I'm saving my eyes and I'm saving my.
You probably sleep with a fan on too, don't you?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, the worst. No, I don't sleep with anything. Pitch black. Pitch black. It's got to be pitch black in my room.
Yeah, but you don't sleep with a fan on?
Nope. No. That's because my house is a meat locker. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, so you. My girl Polish and Irish. Listen, she white. I'm cold.
You walk in my house. You go and see your breath. I swear it is.
That's true. I walk in it is cold. No, we definitely keep the fans on all year round. Although she is drawn a little bit in the wintertime, but still say less. But yeah, so definitely less screen time. I do. I put it on warm mode to save your eyes and to just save your brain from thinking that it's daytime, obviously. And then right before bed, I do a lot of just stretching and using that time to downtime and just prepare for sleep. Definitely develop a good nighttime and bedtime ritual. Some people think, I'll just watch TV or play video games, or just do something that's high alert and then think you're going to just fall into sleep. This is why your body can't get to sleep because you've just been doing something, having your heart pumping. And
stemming it up.
Yeah, stemming it up. Yeah. Find a good bedtime routine or ritual that can help literally take you down into that sleep so you can fall into REM sleep.
Telling you what, you don't have to read the whole book, but you read about like 10 to 20 pages and I bet you start feeling tired.
And a few crossword puzzles. I do it all the time. Listen, I get it going. I do my thing. Yeah.
Anything else?
Since my awakening, that's all I got. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've been doing. Yeah. It's been beautiful though. It's been beautiful. How's your spiritual journey been so far?
Spiritual journey's been good. Just staying with everything, you know what I mean? And it's okay. Like, you don't have to do it 1,000% with like the journaling and everything like that. This one book, the notebook that I sent you, the Project 369, it literally says, don't worry and stress out about too much. Like if you fall asleep, that when you're supposed to write the times 9, you can come back to it whenever you want. You manifesting what you want is not going to go anywhere just because you don't do it every day. But as long as you put it out there when you can, when you're feeling the most high vibrations, and you write it down when you feel good, that's positive reinforcement to that energy that you're keeping. So don't be too hard on yourselves when you're trying to create good habits, and because there's going to be, life is busy, things happen, but when you come back to it and you get that sense of joy, that's what you're trying to stay with, that sense of joy while completing something. So that I challenge everybody to stick with that and just like really grab something that brings you joy and happiness and peace, really.
And I'll say this too real quick. Going into the spiritual journey, again, you might feel like you're alone, which is why you have us here. But even on a physical aspect, if you don't have anybody, look for a mentor.
For sure.
But please, it is very important that you don't just look to somebody. Make sure you've done some heavy devotion and make sure you find the right person that's meant to lead you.
Make sure
some nuggets and some wisdom.
Make sure that person is in a better place, if not some place where you want to be.
Thank you. That's exactly it.
Before seeking advice. Do not listen to people that are lower or at the same level as you.
Because Steve Harvey said it best. I'm not going to take advice from people that I don't want to be like or end up like.
Exactly.
Why?
Preach.
Why? There's so many people up there that I'm trying to be like, I'm gonna take advice from them. I ain't gonna take advice from you. Appreciate it, bro. Keep that. It's all love. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's enough. I think we did. We both been busy. We've been very active with our spiritual journey. It's been quite a journey, and we got some pretty good stuff down. I think I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Episode 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's all love, bro. I love you. You know that.
I'm gonna end this with 2 questions I want our audience to ask themselves, and I ask you this question damn near every day.
Yes.
Who are you, and where are you going?
Don't answer right now.
Yeah, you don't have to answer right now.
That is
If you can answer that right now, you're already a step in achieving what you're manifesting.
Right.
But take some time to think about it. You know what I mean? It's all love and respect to everybody and all our viewers. And this includes episode 2.
Peace, all love.
All right.
Know that.